Hey, I'm Alec, and today I'm going to show you how to set up a desktop fabrication station for FFF 3D printing. You're ready to start 3D printing, whether it's for business or for fun, and maybe you've already purchased a printer, or you're just trying to research which one's best for you, in which case I suggest giving MatterHackers a call and we can definitely help you out. Now, something I didn't consider when I got my first 3D printer is that it arrived on my doorstep and I had no idea where I was going to put it or how I was going to keep things organized. So I've taken some time to look around MatterHackers headquarters, my workshop, some workshops I've seen online, and public makerspaces, and compiled this list of different things you may want to consider when setting up your desktop fabrication station. So let's get to it. Choosing a location. The first thing to consider is where are you going to set up your 3D printer or 3D printers, and this can change depending on how many you have and how big they are. With just one printer, it would be easy to set up a dedicated desk right next to you, like behind me, that has everything you need, but with a dozen printers, you'll need a shelving system and your needs change considerably. In either case, it's best to have some space, whether it's large or small, that you can have focused on 3D printing and maintain that the 3D printer or printers will stay there for some time. Try to avoid choosing a spot that's too far from an outlet, because as you develop your fabrication station, you may find that you need more than just a couple outlets, and daisy chaining a bunch of extension cords together is a bad idea. Here's some examples. In the studio, we have a lot of printers set up that are regularly used for printing, and we use it as a cool backdrop. This is custom built using imported Swedish particle board tables with the legs chopped up with 3D printed spacers and a whole lot of screws holding the thing together. It is a very purpose-built setup, but it does serve our needs here. However, it is less convenient than having one right next to me that I can keep a close eye on. But with this many 3D printers, another thing to consider is that the noise builds up and the room gets noticeably warmer when they're all running. Others like to keep their printers right on their desk next to their computer for easy management and to keep a close eye on prints as they progress. Depending on the size of your printer, this is going to be the likeliest scenario, simply because it requires no additional forethought, but it still works very well. A CraftBot Plus fits on a desk nicely, but a printer like the Raise 3D Pro 2 Plus is a little large to fit on a desktop and is better suited to the cart made by Raise 3D, and it comes with a bunch of features that makes it a great fabrication station on its own. Another really elegant option is to have a small cart you can put a 3D printer on top of, and this has the added benefit of keeping all the tools and accessories close to the printer. Make sure that it's a sturdy platform, as any base that's wobbly can affect the print quality produced from the 3D printer, even from top-of-the-line machines. Think about where you will be storing all the material that you're accumulating for your 3D printer. You'd be surprised at how quickly you go from a couple spools to a couple dozen spools, especially with the wide variety of materials and colors available at MatterHackers.com. With the quantity of materials we have at MatterHackers, we needed a clean way to manage everything. In the studio, we have filament below the frame underneath the printers and organized by material. Elsewhere in the office, we have the material wall, where all of our other materials from PLA to PEEK are stored. Here, everything's organized by specific material, color, and diameter, which makes it really easy to find exactly which filament you're looking for. There are many different strategies for maintaining organized inventory, but the general idea is you want to be able to move as little as possible to get to the material you need. It's really easy to go 2 or 3 stacks deep in the studio, but doing that is more trouble than it's worth. Now that we have the major things handled, it's important to keep a clean and tidy workspace. 3D printing can be as clean or as messy as you let it. It's really easy to let a pile of filament cutoffs, purge lines, skirts, and failed prints accumulate. I found the best way to combat this is to have a small brush, like a paintbrush, to be able to dust off the printer and surrounding area, and a trash can right next to the workstation to sweep everything into it. When I have a trash can on the other side of the room, it's really easy for me to just set some filament down and think, I'll deal with this later. So you really want to just make it as easy as possible to be clean, so you choose that over being messy. There are a couple essential tools I have found invaluable to the 3D printing process. Keep a handful of USB drives, SD cards, or micro SD cards, whatever your printer uses, on hand so you can start slicing while your prints are still running. A set of calipers and spare batteries to measure out parts and get a sense of scale for either the 3D models you're designing or the models you've downloaded. A 0.5mm chamfer may look big, but in reality is basically non-existent. Flush cutters are great for trimming filament before you insert it into the extruder, or if you're careful, is handy for support removal. An art knife or deburring tool is a handy tool for removing any blemishes on the print or very fine supports. Depending on if your printer supports it, a wrench is handy to have as well for either removing nozzles for serious jams or to swap out to different sizes. The most common nozzle size you'll find uses a 7mm wrench, although there can be some larger or smaller, so be sure to check the manual to make sure you get the right one. You can also find all these tools in any of the MatterHackers toolkits. Follow any of the maintenance guidelines within the manual for your 3D printer, but in general, these are pretty easy machines to take care of. Every once in a while, make sure all the sliding surfaces, like the linear rods or rails, are well lubricated, debris is away from any moving parts, and you don't notice any parts significantly wearing down, like belts can create a lot of black dust if they come out of alignment. We have many videos and articles detailing how to troubleshoot any issue you may have while 3D printing. For those harder to solve problems, you can of course contact MatterHackers either by phone or by email, where you can talk to somebody and help figure out what exactly is going on. There are two videos I would recommend checking out first, which is warping or part not extruding, as these seem to be the two most common errors I see with new users. We'll also add in the description down below some articles like the handy troubleshooting guide that we've created. Having a 3D printer opens up the possibilities of what you can create, from the small and ornate to the large and purpose-built. While it is a tool first for many, it is still wonderful to watch these machines run, and after all these years, I still find myself mesmerized as I watch them go. Now in this setup, is there anything I didn't mention that you still feel is important for others to know about? I'm always open to learning and spreading the knowledge with other viewers, so be sure to leave it in a comment down below. I'm Alec from MatterHackers. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video on how to set up a desktop fabrication station for FFF 3D printing. I really enjoy seeing how others set up their workshops, so I hope this video inspires you to customize your own. If you want to read some in-depth articles, you can go to MatterHackers.com, or if you want to stay up to date on all of our digital fabrication content, be sure to subscribe. See you on the next one.